Welcome to Norse Talk, information of the gods. I am Red Bearded Viking. This is Red Dranger. And tonight, you guys, we got two really great special guests. We've got CWolf down here, and we got Berserker Bear. They're joining us tonight to discuss stanzas 19 through 22 of the Havamal. So this should be a lot of fun tonight, guys. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be awesome. Most of you already know me and Red Dranger, so I just want to give CWolf a little bit of a chance to talk about himself first, and then we'll give Berserker Bear a chance to introduce himself.
Oh, right now? Okay, well, all right, so everyone knows me at CWolf or the Pirate Heathen. My name's Eiriker Half-Ulferson, that's my real name. And I've been basically on my spiritual path since I was the age of 8 years old. Long journey even through my career in the United States Coast Guard. I am a U.S. Coast Guard veteran. Actually served overseas in Operation Enduring Freedom for a number of tours. And then so I started my own business that actually started as a hobby a number of years ago, 5 years ago, called the Usweiter Craftsman Shop. Usweiter basically means wolf spirit or spirit of the wolf. And I pretty much make a lot of different things regarding like divination tools, wall altars, totems, bowls, drinking cups, drinking horns, wall altars, and a lot of other things. And I actually have a website now and an Etsy shop. And my website also features a blog where I post a lot of great educational stuff about twice a week. And there's so much more I could talk about me, but I'm not one to really boast about myself. So I'll just fucking let it roll.
All right. And for people that are joining us that are just getting to know you, some of the crafts that you make, they can get to your site by clicking on your TikTok handle, and you have a link in your bio. So if you guys want to,
I have a link tree.
Yep.
I've got the link tree that goes to not just it goes to my website, goes to my Etsy, goes to my Instagram, and it actually goes to my Facebook as well. So
yeah, so that's awesome. So you guys go check out his link on his bio. And Berserker Bear, tell us a little bit about you.
I'm old. I'm old as dirt.
I feel called out.
No, no. I honestly, I fell onto TikTok, and TikTok. I literally fell into the Norse pagan community, and I found home. I love to tell stories. I love to spread knowledge, and from many directions, people have shed us in a very bad light. So I like to educate as much as possible that we are some of the best people I've ever known.
Hi, Witches Brew. Just one of my favorite people's in here, Witches Brew. Just want to say hello to her.
Yeah, if you guys aren't following Berserker Bear, you got to check him out. Check out his content. He also has a merch store as well. So you guys got to check him out. He does some amazing things here on TikTok for the community. Check out some of his content where he talks about different Norse stuff. It's really amazing.
I'll drink to that.
We have quite a few new people in here tonight. So we'll tell you a little bit about what this is. What this is it's basically a book discussion where we go over different Norse books and we pick them apart chapter per chapter, or in this particular book, stanza by stanza. And, we go over them, we talk about them, give our personal insights on what we got from those stanzas, and just discuss it and help educate not only each other, but everybody that joins us for the show and everything. Me, myself, I'm Red Bearded Viking. I've been on this path for about a year now. And me and Dranger started this show because of the fact that when I first came into the Norse community and started learning from people in the Norse community, a lot of people were really open in the beginning about talking about it. And all of a sudden the community just kind of closed off, and people didn't really want to discuss specific or give you much direction because the community had come under attack at the time. So I had talked to Red, and I was like, I want to keep learning, but I need a way to learn with other people and help stay motivated to keep me learning. Give me a reason to be like, not set the book down and forget about it for a while, like to continue reading on almost a daily basis. And so we came up with Norse Talk, where we can do it all together in this setting and discuss it not only with each other, but the community as well.
Yeah. Our goal was to create the Norse equivalent of Cheers, where everybody's welcome, everybody's well met, as long as they come in with that same mentality. And
I feel like I would be Norm in that Cheers spectrum.
yeah,
I'm just saying. And Berserker Bear would be Cliff, because he's got all the random facts he's got to like spout out at the most, times.
I think he's a little bit more composed than Cliff, though.
I'm pretty sure I'm Woody.
Fuck's sakes.
It works. It fits.
It's the lack of meat.
Wow, you're Woody. Holy shit. Oh, Lord.
Hey, Shauna.
He comes across more as Sam.
Yeah, I would definitely. Yeah.
I got the fucking forehead for it, though. If I could... Oh, shit.
So now you know a little bit about all of us and who our Cheers characters are. So why don't we start diving into the book tonight, you guys? So we are once again on the study Havamal, but you can use any Havamal because we're going stanza by stanza. This is just the one that we chose to do the show because of the different translations, and also the section where you can keep notes as you go was the main reason that we chose this one. So, but any Havamal will work because they all have stanzas, and it's all just about our own interpretation of each stanza. So I'm going to kick it off with stanza 19, and I'm going to read Gray. And it says, "Keep not the meat cup, but drink thy measure. Speak needful words or none. None shall upbraid thee for lack of breeding, if soon thou skeets thy rest."
And so I have Thorpe that I'll be reading in. "Let a man hold the cup, yet the mead drink moderately. Speak sensibly or be silent. As of a fault no man will admonish thee, if thou goest bedtime to sleep." And then it goes
And
to
so
Bellows.
Yeah.
I'll be doing bellows.
Yeah.
It says, "Shun not the mead, but drink in measure. Speak to the point or be still. For rudeness none shall rightly blame thee, if soon thy bed thou seekest."
And then what book were you reading from, CWolf?
I'm reading from, and I'm doing 20, correct?
Nope, you're doing 19.
I'm still doing 19. Okay, that's right. And I'm reading from Havamal, Runes, Norse, and English by Sigmundur Sigfusson. This is the one I'm reading from. And it's actually word for word from what you read. "Keep not the mead cup, but drink thy measure. Speak needful words or none. None shall upbraid thee for lacking of breeding, if soon thou seekest thy rest."
That's awesome.
So it's the same word for word. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what I got from this stanza personally was you don't want to drink and stay up late because you can possibly disturb others because of being loud with foolish behavior. Just basically being, trying to be respectful and not drink to the point that you're starting to get obnoxious or you're preventing other people from being able to, being able to hold yourself and be able and not just be acting a fool.
Yeah, to me, this one I kind of tie into the hospitality stanzas a little bit at the beginning of the book, just in the way that it really does seem to be, again, one of the stanzas that describes kind of the social construct of the Norse communities, where it was about that balance. You had to be, you don't overdrink your fill. You don't make yourself the responsibility for others to have to take care of you because you've overdrank. You don't interrupt to say stuff that you might not have insight on because you might not have experienced it yet. And it's not considered rude to be making sure that you're ready for the next day, making sure that you're thinking about the future, that you're planning forward, again, because these communities were interdependent on each other. It makes sense that that would be a common goal.
I see it as be accountable for your own actions and taste your own words before they leave your lips.
I like that.
Now, see, it clearly says to shun not the mead. So it would be rude to not join in the festivities.
Yeah.
But be mindful with how much you drink, because the more you drink, the more wit you lose, and the more sharp your tongue can become. So if the bed calls, it's better to step away than to create new enemies.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Seriously, I
Just
like I was
Yeah.
better. I feel like this stanza is just like a kick in the shin to me because we keep getting these ones that say quit drinking so damn much.
Yeah, that's not happening. Sorry, 19. It's not happening. But in all seriousness, I think the really important thing about this one is that the fact that so many, they want to utilize alcohol as like it's an excuse. The alcohol made me do it. That's not exactly true. Alcohol brings out your subconscious. It brings out the part of you that you may hide in a normal environment. So really what it's doing is unveiling the ugly side of you that you probably should fucking like do some inner work with.
Yeah.
They don't call it liquor.
Yeah.
It gives you a courage to do all those things that find you.
It thins the filter, and it well, I mean, it's interesting because you look, there are a lot of cultures that when it comes to a certain point of alcohol, look at that as being able to have that extra connection with the other veils or something like that. So it's interesting to look at what cultures think the different level is. If you take out the celebratory social aspect of it, just the belief aspect of it.
Well, certain kinds of alcohols. Okay, so there is a certain kind of hallucinogenic moonshine, if you will, that's made in the U.S. Virgin Islands, a place I was stationed at called Bubash, where it's basically pickled with a certain kind of octopus. And although it can be like a tourist thing, traditionally it was meant for more of a spiritual, if you will, like spirit walking type of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there are certain like alcohols that were made in native cultures of the world, including like with the Mongolian culture, even with their fermented horse milk, that was actually utilized in spiritual rituals.
Yeah.
But if it's taken to a level that's not respected,
yeah,
then you're just, basically being a fucking frat boy wanting to, get your rocks off.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. What's the
This
intent?
happens every once in a while on TikTok. You guys will lose somebody real quick, but they come right back in, so don't worry about it.
No stress.
Yep. The bear's back. It's all good.
I could hear you the whole time. I just got booted and came back.
Yeah, it does that every once in a while. It'll glitch.
Yeah.
That'll happen. Like me and Red, when we weren't doing the 4 boxes, we were dueling our lives like we do. And all of a sudden, in the middle of the show, both of us got booted to our rooms. We each thought the other one got like Vanos, but turned out we just got booted away from each other. Yeah. And we were on.
So we're both in our lives trying to figure out why we can't reattach to the other one, because the system still thought we were in a duel. So we were like, where's it was a clusterfuck.
Yeah. So welcome to TikTok. This happened again, but
what's up, Shank?
It's
yeah, I think the biggest thing about this is that I mean, it really comes down to the brass taxes, drink, but drink responsibly. But if, listen, I'm guilty of going way beyond that fucking spectrum. However, no matter what has ever happened with my wild drinking escapades throughout all the fucking years, I've always held myself accountable for anything that I've done. Because when it comes down to it, this really is talking about integrity. And integrity is a very important thing with your moral code.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I like to call it the TikTok walk of shame when I got to come back the next day and apologize for the night before. I got pretty goofy.
I don't. I come back and I'm like, if you fucking dealt with it, you're going to deal with it again. Welcome to the fucking shit show. That's what I usually tell people.
I like the voice call or the video call that I usually get from Redbeard sometime the next day, where he sits down and goes, "What did I do? And who do I have to say I'm sorry to?"
I usually get screenshots from my friends from the live, and they're like, "Do you realize you did this?" I'm like, "I'm not even sorry."
I'll be like, "So what happened after this point? Because I remember nothing."
Randy tends to get me banned every once in a while, but that happens. That is factual.
All right, so let's start stanza 20, you guys.
Okay, 20.
Bray says, "A greedy man, if he be not mindful, eat to his own life's hurt. Off the belly of the fool will bring him scorn when he seeks the circle of the wise."
Yeah. And so I'll be reading in Thorpe. "A greedy man, if he not be moderate, eats to the mortal sorrow. Oftentimes his belly draws laughter on a silly man, who among the prudent comes."
And Bellow's translation: "The greedy man, if his mind be vague, will eat till sick he is. The vulgar man, when among the wise, to scorn by his belly is brought."
And for my copy, "A greedy man, if he not be mindful, eats to his own life's hurt. Oft the belly of the fool will bring him to scorn when he seeks the circle of the wise." So again, Redbeard,
So it's
pretty much word for word.
Yeah, it's not yours is the same as mine. So I'm gonna start reading from this one, you guys, and let him cover that one since they're the same. So I'll read one more verse for you guys real quick.
Okay.
Let me find 20 in here. So this one says, "The greedy man without any wits will eat until he is sick. When he dines among the wise, they shall judge." And basically what I got from this stanza was, it's okay to eat plenty, but you don't want to eat too much and eat in excess. Know your limits when you're eating. Keep yourself and your body healthy and fit. Don't let yourself fall apart and, because you're being greedy and too much. Know your limits. Know when to stop. And I don't think to me, it's not referring to just like it's talking about eating, but I think it's kind of referring to other things too, like pretty much anything. Don't indulge too much in anything and make a fool out of yourself. Know your limit, keep it at that healthy limit. What I
Yeah, it's it's to me, it's the greedy man never eats his fill. You know what I mean? He's not acting on noble virtues. He's wanting to feed his own solely personal desires to want and have, and that's never satisfied. And that kind of person can be seen in and amongst the group. We all have that one friend or that one person that solely just focuses on themselves and how they can better themselves in any particular situation. They're not the strongest teammate. They're not the strongest team player. And when you're only working for yourself and you're not thinking about others and how you affect the people around you, you're never going to satisfy that, because you're never going to find that balance, because you're out of it.
I see it a slightly different way. This line right here, each to his own life's hurt. I see it as, do not continue to swallow the hurtful memories and experiences of your past. Do not have that shit live rent-free in your head. And this is something I deal with all the time with combat PTSD. What I see this is as, which we talked about earlier, I said this one really resonates with me, basically saying, do not continue to fucking replay the tape, as they say. The bad, hurtful memories, stop chewing on that fat, because that will only cause you to become more resentful, more angry, and more self-destructive in your own self. And that's how I interpret that one.
I like that.
And I take it in a very literal form. Because if you think back to the times of the Old Norse, they were always very active and very productive. Their days were long and they were very hard. And if you eat until it hurts, your productivity and your ability to function is diminished. So while we need food for sustenance and for fuel so that we can continue, to overeat is counterproductive and also harmful for our health.
I think every one of these interpretations makes sense, because it's open to really resonate with each one of those.
Yeah. And
that's what's so great about the stanzas.
That's the exact great thing about the stanzas being written as many different ways as they are, and everybody having different viewpoints.
Yeah.
When they read them, I think that's the cool thing about what we're able to do here right now, is you have four people from completely different backgrounds that are going to resonate with different points of these. That's awesome.
Well, that's what I like about doing it. Just like being able to hear, how each one of us interpreted it a little bit different, and sometimes way different, different directions altogether. But it's by hearing their interpretation resonates with myself as well. And I gain even more than just my simple interpretation that I took from it. I'm gaining from each one of these gentlemen as well. Because
this is the great thing. This is the great thing about the pagan spiritual path, if you want to call it that. The fact that if you're willing to fucking take different points from different perceptions to create your own mosaic, if you will, and allow that mosaic to evolve as you walk along your path, you're only going to become more in tune with your own fucking spirituality. Don't keep things fucking tunnel visioned. Be willing to hear different perceptions, different sides, and then take from it what fucking hits you in the gut, your gut feeling.
Yeah.
See, and I was
I did. Oh, sorry, bud. You cut out on me.
So I said I was able to take from each one of your guys' experiences on this one, because, like, even though we all viewed it, each one of them resonated with me.
Yeah. I just saw a really funny comment. Somebody made a play on the Christian Sunday school, and just said, "Oh, we're in Thursday school." I thought that was really cute. I just wanted to maybe we can call Tuesdays episodes Tuesday school.
What I liked about Bear's interpretation of it is that it goes back to being more of everyday life back in that day during the Viking Age, where literally you do not want to gorge because, especially during the Viking Age, which part of it started, is that they were starting to lose, they were running out of farmland and all that shit. And that's the reasons why they expanded. So what you were saying about don't get your stomach too fucking heavy because you don't know if tomorrow, basically what kind of meal you're going to have, So do things in more moderation in order to be able to continue and maintain. That's kind of what I got out from what you were saying.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah.
So that
And
leads
it's
us
a
into
personal
21. Yeah. Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, that was it. I was just saying it's a personal health thing.
Right.
This book is literally our philosophy and on how we should live our life. And health is very important. Small meals treat us far better than big meals.
Yeah, I totally agree. So we head into Havamal 21 or Havamal Stanza 21, you guys.
Mhm.
And in this book it says, "The herds know when they have eaten their fill, but a foolish man does not know the limits of his appetite."
So by Thorpe, we have cattle know when to go home, and then from grazing cease, but a foolish man never knows his stomach's measure.
And Bellows translation says, "The herds know well when home they shall fare, and then from the grass they go. But the foolish man, his belly's measure, shall never know aright."
Mm.
And again, from this one, herds know the hour of their going home and turn them again from the grass, but never is found a foolish man who knows the measure of his maw.
Yeah, see, and what I got from this was basically that, it's talking about how cattle and other herd, not just cattle, but herd animals in general, know when it's time to stop grazing and go home. But when it comes in comparison, a foolish man falls short of it and is unaware of how much they should eat compared to anything. They don't know their limits, is basically how I interpreted it.
Every rabbit hole I chased down with this one just led back to balance to me. Like, understand that you have to have that balance between, even the cattle know when to end their day so that they can start the next one appropriately. You know what I mean? So that they're, you know what I mean? And it all just comes down to knowing that balance, and then the fool not being able to do that, concentrating on what's right in front of them instead of what's maybe 2 or 3 steps ahead.
So don't be the guy that's not smart with cattle.
So this one for me, the herds, the hive mind, they know when to eat, sleep, get up, do this and that. But never's found a foolish man who knows the measure of his mouth. Never's found a foolish man. Basically, there's no foolish man who knows when to do what he needs to do despite the herd.
Mm.
Meaning that there's nothing wrong with straying from the herd and doing what you feel needs to be done. Basically, accepting and fucking embracing your free will. I know it's a bit out there with that one, but that's how I kind of see that.
I'm trying to connect that between the herd mentality, the free will, with the second part of that, with the other translations, not the one that you just gave, but that is really That's a cool outlook on that one that you read. Like, I dig that.
And I'm basing it just on my translation because I listened
Yeah,
to the
that's
other
what I
ones.
mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Because
So now
again,
listen to
the important part of that one is this. Herds know the hour of their going home and turn them again from the grass. So the herds just know when they're supposed to do whatever.
Yeah.
But never is found a foolish man who knows the measure of his mouth, meaning that knowing the measure of what you can do, what you're capable of.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to venture off from that herd mentality to do something that maybe is against the fucking status quo.
Yeah. Push the boundaries. Don't just accept what's
Exactly. Right. Fair?
I noticed two key points in all of the translations that stand out strongest to me. And one is the herds know when to leave their grazing and return home. And this is because at night, it's when the predators come out. So it's time for them to return to safety. The second point is the foolish man is the one who continues to graze. So I take the literal translation and take it to a more philosophical thought process. That when we venture out to explore new knowledge, it is fine to eat to our fill, but it's wise to know when to pull back and not fall into the lion's den.
I like that.
I like that too. You know,
that
knowing
resonates
when to say when.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, like this is hearing the different views on this one. I enjoy those. That one really, really resonated.
Yeah.
And same with CWolf. When you take the two, them two make sense together really well. This is kind of like saying it's okay to go have fun, but no, cut it off so you don't go to jail.
Yeah, well, exactly. It's kind of like when, whether it's a deployment or a port call, you moor up, and then the liaison that comes out, speaking Coast Guard, specifically Navy, that the local liaison, there's like, they come to you and say, listen, these are the places we don't recommend you going. These are the places that are safe. I was one of those guys that were all, so you tell me where I shouldn't go. That's the first place I'm going to fucking go.
Yeah.
Because I want to explore that fucking realm that is basically the not allowed fucking area. Going into that, but also knowing that no matter what happens, I made that choice. That's on me.
Right. Yeah, no, that's awesome to hear all these. So let's hit 20.
Accountability.
Yeah, definitely accountability. We'll hit 20 for you guys. This one says, miserable and angry man will sneer and mock all things as if he is free from faults himself, which he knows not.
So, and Thorpe says, a miserable man and ill-conditioned sneers at everything. One thing he knows not, which he ought to know, that he is not free from faults.
Okay, Bellow's translation is a paltry man and poor of mind, at all things ever mocks. For never he knows what he ought to know, that he is not free from fault.
And mine says, the miserable man and evil-minded makes of all things mockery, and knows not that he best should know that he is not free from faults. Oh, that's some narcissistic shit right there.
Yeah, see, like what I got out of this, like, is not very anything like that. Like, basically, what I got out of this is that me person who thinks they're perfect and they're shit. Like, that's basically how I did it. Don't be that person that don't stink, because your shit does stink. You're too blind to it to know.
You know what this reminds me of, the stanza? That old adage, misery loves company.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, I think that can really be summed up with the stanza, misery loves company. Like, for example, these people on social media that are so miserable with their own lives that all they do is they report others to try to get them in trouble because they're so wrapped up in their own garbage that the only way they feel complete is to put their garbage upon others.
Yeah.
Which is also a very much a narcissistic trait.
Yeah. This is the stanza of the armchair quarterback. This is the stanza
Right
of
there.
the ill-conditioned man who can't do for himself. So instead of
Fucking nailed it.
looking at his own faults and self-bettering, he cuts down other people. This stanza to me represents, and Redbeard's going to know this. When I say green hair, he is going to know exactly who this stanza belongs to. And it's also very interesting about, there is another fairly big drama issue going about TikTok right now with a certain creator who likes to virtue signal being found out to be not so kind. And again, this reminds me of that to a T.
Yeah, I know. You know what? So
I won't say the name
exactly.
because I don't want the drama.
No. I'm not dropping names, but Red, I know exactly what you're talking about, and yeah, you're spot on with that because I'm well aware of what's going on with that.
Dude,
Yes.
and this stanza totally reminds me of the guy that I've told you guys about at work, where people will sit there and make comments and like poke fun at him about how much he talks, and he turns around and every time somebody says something, he's like, "You're the one that talks too much. Nobody can get a word in." And all the while, nobody else is talking but him, and that's all it ever is. And like, so like that's the first thing I thought of when I heard it.
So I'll say the one thing about this stanza. So the late great George Carlin used to talk about something regarding something kind of that's related to this. These guys that are so insecure, so fucking wrapped up in their own bullshit that they literally project their crap onto someone else, which was known as dick fear. To literally project your own little Vienna onto someone else because you are so insecure in your own self.
About yourself, and that's where the conditioned part really popped out of me. I don't remember seeing it the other translations, but the second line, a miserable man and ill-conditioned. You know what I mean? That can be physically, that can be mentally, that can be experience. You know, you're not at the point that you need to be to do this, and instead of pushing yourself to get there, whatever that task may be, whether it's knowledge-based, physical, fuck, whatever, you just cut down the people.
The other thing with that is that people will try to say, well, it's trauma-based. But you know what? The moment you use your own trauma as a crutch to push that shit on other people, to be basically abusive on other people, that's not a crutch. That's an excuse. That's a fucking cannon fodder psychological bullshit. That doesn't mean a damn thing.
And that's usually when the virtue signaling comes from, because when you do go down that path, you cannot then become wrong later. Like, you can't be desperate, right?
You can't be held accountable. Yeah, no, it doesn't work because
the house of cards, right? Like, you just keep going, and then you can't build a house of cards forever.
A lot of us have had shitty fucking listen, my own upbringing, I'm not gonna get into it, was crap. I'd never repeat my childhood. But you know what I did? Instead of turning that into crutch, I turned that to how I don't want to be.
Mhm.
I made that a power and a weapon and a tool in my toolbox of I will not be that. I'll be fucking better. That stanza is basically saying that those kinds of people are utilizing that as more of a, they're like weaponizing it to bring about projecting that onto others so that they can be in the same gutter as them.
Yeah.
Let's hear what Berserker Bear has. He's been quiet.
I'm gonna grab another ale. I'll be right back.
Basically, the interpretations across the board, we all know and we all experience that one person that makes light of everything, no matter how serious it is. They joke it off, and they always joke about it in a negative manner. They always beat it down, and you know, as soon as you hear this person talk, you know inside they are broken, and that is their way of trying to bring everybody else to their level, because they don't want to feel like they are that broken.
It is really interesting how in modern culture, and I'm not talking about Norse paganism, I just mean society in general, how that ideal is becoming idolized by so many people. You know what I mean? You see a lot of the new celebrities and a lot of the new icons all seem to share that trait where it's just claws out all the time. You know what I mean? And negative, 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 negative. There's no building anymore. It's about tearing people down, and it's self-destructive. It doesn't
Well,
last.
It is.
and I know Ryan, you're about me. It's like, you know, I went down a bad path for a long time, but I don't use like the fact that I went down a bad path as a crutch. It's I've accomplished so much and come so far from there. You know, I talk about the positives of, you know, I hit my body. I went through a lot of stuff, a lot of trouble and everything. Um, Dealing with some stuff, but you know, today, and I climbed out of that and made myself who I am and made myself better, and made sure that I didn't go back to something. I look at my achievements and what I've been able to accomplish with where I've been instead of going, oh well, you know, I am what I am because this happened.
Yeah.
I find for me it is always more productive though. I can like you say, I can beat somebody down or poke fun at their shortcomings, but I always do better for myself if I simply help raise them up. It takes less effort and I come out ahead.
Yeah.
I took.
We got a really bad reverb going on, so let's we're done the
Yeah, let's
standards.
wrap this up and we'll
Put the discussion
Q&A.
Yeah.
So you
Okay.
guys, thank you again for joining us for this episode. You guys go follow TikTok, their TikTok name, their pictures on YouTube. Everybody that's on YouTube right now, checking this out, please hit that follow button, hit that like button, give us some comments, help us continue to build our YouTube page and help make it better. Everybody, it's so amazing tonight. We're gonna jump out of here, jump into our Q&A section, you guys. So once again, I want to thank both CWolf and Berserker Bear for being here and getting all their insight on tonight. And they're gonna stick around with us for a little bit in the Q&A, answer any questions people have, or they want to ask or anything like that. Do you have anything else before we sign off, Ray?
I just want to remind everybody that tomorrow at noon we will be holding the event for Lainey. She's our very dear sister who just lost her son. So we're going to do everything that we can to help her out. So there's going to be a bunch of different art pieces. I'm going to put up some altar plates. I might even put up a clock. I don't know yet. We'll see. But there's going to be a whole bunch of other Norse pagan artists. There's going to be a whole bunch of cool stuff. My daughter's going to be there to paint my face. So I'll be sending a video of whatever she decides to paint me as to the winner of that. it's all going to go to helping an amazing sister. So I hope to see you guys all there.
Yeah, so please check out that live tomorrow, you guys. And as always, you guys, it's not a him thing, not a them thing. It's a you thing, because we couldn't do it without you. So stay amazing, stay creating, and as always, be awesome, and we'll see you next time.